Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Jennifer Huber, also known as Solo Travel Girl. I'm here to provide you with a life update. How is my pre-retirement going? Pre-retirement is that time when you're thinking about retiring. Hopefully I'll be retiring in about 10 years or so. Maybe a little bit longer, we shall see. But I was on a wonderful 2-week vacation and I've been back for 2 weeks, and I was hoping to upload a video about my amazing road trip. I took Radcliffe with me. We saw the most amazing sights, drove out from Florida through Texas up to Colorado and then back through Texas. Saw some family that I haven't seen for a while out in Colorado. Saw some friends in Texas. One friend I haven't seen in decades, and actually another friend, she painted this right here. That's from our trip to Alaska many years ago, and another friend went with us too. So it was a fantastic trip, and I want to tell you what's happened in the last 2 weeks. I was hoping to update you about Manjaro, but that's going to be another post. I actually drafted out talking points for that because I want to talk about 3 years being on Manjaro and kind of reflect on what I would tell myself 3 years ago. Or I had some more questions about any side effects, so I thought I'd just put a video together and just summarize everything in there. However, so I got back late on a Friday night, and then Sunday I didn't have any water. I'm on a pump, as many of you know from my Hurricane Ian experience. I am on a pump on a well, and I thought at first I had to prime the pump. I knew my power had gone out when I was gone. I knew it was caused by electrical strike because the utility, they keep customers updated. Sidebar, I work for that utility. I don't receive special treatment. None of us do. However, I knew the power had been out, so I thought, oh, maybe I need to prime the well, even though I never had to do that before. So I got onto YouTube, which is a wonderful resource, and I ended up priming my well, priming the pump, whatever, and that didn't work. So I ended up calling the company who put in my new water filter system after Hurricane Ian, and they gave me the bad news that it was my well and that they weren't able to do anything on that Sunday, but they would come back on Monday and see what they could do. And they gave me the cost, and they said if they are not able to get out the old well pump, that they would need to call in a truck, and that would be double the price. So my fingers and toes and everything else were really crossed about hoping that truck would not need to be called. So Sunday, I'm without water. How am I going to flush my toilets? How am I going to wash my dishes? How am I going to bathe myself? So, honestly, I did military-style bathing with a couple gallons of water. That was that. I won't get into too much details. I do keep spare water on hand because I'm on a well, and that way I could put that water into the back of my toilets to flush the toilets. And you probably heard, if it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Even though I live alone, obviously brown always goes down no matter who is here, even though it's just me and my animals, my dog and my 2 cats. So Monday morning, I went to work with all my toiletries and a change of clothing, and I showered before work. And then I got the bad news later on in the morning that the water company, the guy, was not able to pull out the old well pump and that he'd need to call a truck. And thankfully that truck came out Monday afternoon. And let's see here. All right, so when I got home around 6 o'clock that night, it was raining, and there's this big truck in my backyard, or like this big piece of equipment. There are 2 trucks. One truck was in my driveway, another one is in the front of the house, and it was so super loud. I'm going to go ahead and put that video here. Sorry, it's really loud. I will not talk. Yeah, so that's how loud it was. Just imagine in person. And they left around 7 o'clock, and they were not able to get the old well pump out. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean for me? And they said, well, we might have to drill a new well. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I already knew what the cost was. And I'm like, I was making myself sick as to how much it was going to cost to dig a new well in my backyard. So I did a lot of thought and prayer, just hoping that they would be able to get it out on Tuesday. So then those guys left, and there's a knock on my door, and I thought it was my neighbor because I was texting her and I was telling her what was going on, and she's like, oh, I'll come down. I open it up, it's a guy, and he is from T-Mobile. And meanwhile, T-Mobile has been putting in fiber into the neighborhood, and honestly, I loved T-Mobile up until today. I'm sorry. But anyway, after Hurricane Ian, I was out, I was without power. You don't have internet when you have power, and that's fine. Again, first world problems. I guess that's the first time I'm saying that in this video. First world problems, I understand that. But that's when I was really into documenting my Manjaro experience and just needed to get online and for work as well. So I went and I bought a T-Mobile hotspot, just a little one. And that thing is gold. It cost me about $16 a month to maintain the service. I don't know, the device was maybe $200 or something like that. I travel with it all over the place. It is great. I love it. So basically it was able to provide me coverage where Comcast and AT&T were able to provide me coverage. So great. All right, so T-Mobile fiber is coming in. All right. I knew how much it was going to cost. I figure it's going to be just as good as Comcast because I have really super high-speed internet with Comcast. I have no complaints about that. It's just the cost. I pay crazy amount of money for internet and TV, and I'm just trying to cut back on my expenses, especially knowing what I was paying for my well. So yeah, I signed up for T-Mobile fiber to come in. So this is on Monday. So on Tuesday, I'm go to work, take my shower in the morning. I also get water to bring back home and stuff just in case my water wasn't back restored. So Tuesday, the guys were able to get out the old well pump. Yay! So that meant that I could have water, but I didn't hear from anyone. Like, I didn't hear from the water company whether they were able to, or when they were going to be able to restore my water. And I had assumed that the water was, or the well pump was okay, but it was just weird coming home and it was just silent. I went back there and it looked like an excavation. It just looked like piles of shell when in fact they had to blow up the old well pump, and there was a lot of plastic, PVC plastic in that, so it looks like oyster shells back there. They did clean up some of it, but it's still back there, and I'm showing you a picture right now. So so Wednesday comes along and go to work, take my shower, get extra water just in case to bring home, and then Wednesday water guy called me and said, we restored your water. Yay! So I have water. I know, first world, maybe second world problems, because I did have a solution for not having water. How I wash my dishes, I boiled water and I mixed that with cold water to wash my dishes. I tried to eat out so I wasn't creating a lot of mess needing to wash dishes. Washing my face and that, brushing my teeth, I do have like a beverage dispenser. I just filled that with water, and yes, it was kind of lukewarm, although I did boil it a couple nights. So I had warm water to wash my face and brush my teeth and wash my hands and all that jazz. So Wednesday when I got home, a wet pickup truck and these 4 guys come out, and they got vests on. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that like the city? Did I need a permit for all this or something? No, it was T-Mobile. Okay. So they had to put in the fiber optic underground, my house and that. So they did that. Fine. All right. A-okay. Thursday comes around and I had an appointment in the morning, and then I get a ring notification, which I usually don't answer during the workday, but I looked and there are some more guys in vests outside. I do not speak Spanish. They only spoke Spanish. They didn't speak English, so they had to call someone to interpret, and basically it was T-Mobile coming to put in the underground line. I'm like, well, you guys were here yesterday, and these are different guys, but go knock yourself out as to what you need to do. They didn't need to get in the house at that time. All right, cool. Friday, I got a notification in the morning guess what? More T-Mobile guys are here. And I'm like, well, you guys can do whatever you want, but you've already put in the cable around my house. It's on the side of the house where the box is supposed to go and all that, but do whatever you need to do. Now, I wasn't home, so I have no idea. Maybe they're casing my house, but if you look at the outside of my house, it is not very attractive at all. It's probably the least attractive house on the street, and that's fine, whatever. So anyway, I don't know what that was all about. So then what happened? Let's talk about me. Because when all of this is happening, the day that I went on vacation, that Saturday, I took myself to one of those Med Expresses because I had a rash on my arm and I was worried that it was shingles. It was not shingles. I've had the shingles vaccine, but it was not shingles. But anyway, I had a rash that basically was like here, and it went to this side of my arm. I had this rash, and it was a little bit painful, a little bit itchy, and leading up to that, about 2 weeks before that, I had this weird tingly sensation started on my arm, and it felt like I'm wearing like a sleeve or something, and then also my skin would feel kind of sensitive. And I had this happen to me last year, and the doctor just said it was a pinched nerve, just keep taking your meloxicam, which I take for arthritis in my hip. But it was more intense. It then started hurting, really hurting, and then also I felt so tired that I immediately fall asleep when I was home, or I felt like I was going to fall asleep in traffic going to and from work, and I really had to fight staying awake at work. So I thought that was weird, and that's why I thought maybe it was shingles. But I went to the emergency room place, not the emergency room, but Med Express, and they said no, it was not shingles. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And they gave me some kind of lotion or ointment, and I put that on during my vacation, and it actually got worse. And then eventually it did get all white and flaky from dry skin and that, but you can't see it right now. However, also what happened in this time leading up to the rash showing up is that in the morning, my thumb, I'm kind of doing it now because it's gotten worse, my thumb would catch, and I guess it's called trigger thumb, something like trigger thumb, and it feels weird. It feels that like my thumb is sprained or something, or strained, and I guess you can't. This is my bad thumb, and this is my good thumb. It just feels like it catches. Well, then a week later, my index finger doing the same thing. Okay, and I did tell the doctor this, and he didn't seem concerned about that. I feel concerned about that. So what's been happening since then, my thumb and index finger during my vacation still have that feeling, and then this past week, my middle finger. So these 3 digits, they catch themselves in the morning. My thumb basically is all day where it's catching itself. Sometimes it hurts. Again, it feels a little bit tingly. It feels like I'm wearing like little sheaths on my fingers. I do have a physical coming up where I have blood work coming up this week, and I might have my physical, I think, the second week in August. So I hope it can wait till then. Hopefully it's just trigger finger, but I don't know why. This is my left hand. I'm right-handed. I don't know what type of repetition that I'm doing in my hand that would cause that. According to the interwebs, that's what causes trigger finger, is like repetition. Something else that I read that it could be neuropathy related to Lyme disease. So is it that? I don't know. So I'm dealing with that. And then also right before I left, Radcliffe, my dog, my senior dog, I don't know, maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I noticed he had like a little pink lump on one of his toes, and he started licking it, and it's slowly getting bigger. And a lot of times when I take him for a walk, he goes into the bushes and he comes out with a pricker, and I usually get that out. So I had taken him to the vet, I guess like a week before I went on vacation, and I said, just lance it open. I just thought it was some kind of infection. And, well, we can't do that. So they did a draw, and they said, well, there's white cells, there's white blood cells, red blood cells, and then other kind of cells we're not sure. I'm like, okay. And I should have asked them then to like send it out to pathology or something. So they gave me this regiment with him. Basically, I had to soak his foot in some kind of blue solution mixed with Epsom salts, and then I had to do that at least twice a day, and kind of monitor him and give him antibiotics. So I did that for the week and a half I was supposed to do that, and I had an appointment to take him into the vet as a follow-up the morning that I left on vacation. So first thing in the morning, we went to the vet, and basically they're like, if it was like a pricker or something inside there, an infection, what I had been doing should have taken care of it. Now, by now, it has gotten a little bit bigger. So basically, they think it could be either an infection or it could be cancer. And basically, they were already talking about having to amputate his digit, his toe. And in order to determine if it's cancer, they do an x-ray, because through the x-ray they said they can find out if there is any degradation to the bone, and that's how they determine that it's cancer, is through an x-ray rather than doing pathology. So I can't get in until August 4th? That's the first Tuesday in August. I'm sorry, I thought this really glow on me. I worked this morning. I worked an event, which was inside. It was very cold in there. And then I went to the local farmer's market. So anyway, sorry for glistening. The healthy glow, I guess. So anyway, so Radcliffe's health has been weighing on my mind, and I'm going to worst case scenario. I mean, I don't know how old he is. I know he's at least 10 years old because I adopted him 9 years ago in August, and he had to, I don't know, where I adopted him from, they thought he was 1 year old, but I'm pretty sure he was older than that, and so that's been weighing heavy on my mind. So it just seems I come back from this amazing vacation, and I just come back to everything seemed to be so hard and challenging. So getting back, T-Mobile. So T-Mobile, they came in Friday, which was yesterday. After 3 times guys were here last week, all different guys. And then a team of 2 guys came in yesterday, and they were here for 4 hours, which is fine. They had to do what they had to do because they had to like go up through the attic, over the living room, and then drop the line into my office, my computer room in there, and they had to drill, and I don't know what else they did, but they had it rocking and rolling. I was up till 11:30 last night online, and then when I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, well really 5:30 this morning, I didn't have any internet, and I'm like, what the heck? And I knew they'd do it, so I went and reset the modem. That didn't work at all. And then I called at 7:30 in the morning to ask if they could check to see if there was internet coming into the house, and they wanted to walk me through this whole modem business. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this, because I actually had to be on the road by 8 to be where I needed to be for work this morning. And so I called back this afternoon. Oh, before I did that, I checked in the middle of the day. I checked my ring, and all of a sudden, like at 10:30, I was able to access it. So between 10:30 and 11:15, I had internet, because I checked twice, at 10:30 and like 5 after 11. I was able to access my ring. And then afterwards, like at 2 o'clock, I checked, I couldn't access it. When I got home around 4, couldn't access my internet. So I was on the phone with a T-Mobile person, and he told me, yeah, there's no internet coming into your house, and that they would have to send someone a truck, and no one's available today, so we don't do it on Sunday, so we'll send someone out Monday afternoon. So again, first world problems. Hey everyone, I know this is a big transition you weren't expecting, but after I recorded the previous portion of this video, edited it, uploaded to YouTube, it was uploading, there it was a knock at my door. It was a T-Mobile tech. Shocker, they sent someone. I didn't have to wait till Monday. And he came in and checked the modem. Fine, I know he has to do that, even though I did that. And then he went outside, and basically there was a little broken wire. I did not know until yesterday that fiber optic cable line, whatever you call it, is very fragile. I mean, it's actually glass inside, like glass that's breakable, and the piece outside was broken. So he replaced it, and now I have internet access. So my question to him was, is this going to happen often? He said he didn't think so. So I don't know how the piece got broken out there, unless it was installed that way and it just frayed. But I don't know. I'm going to give this a try and see how T-Mobile fiber goes. Do you have T-Mobile fiber? If so, let me know in the comments how you like it. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching, and I hope all is well in your world. I really do. Mine just feels kind of crazy and out of control, and hopefully this is just a short phase I am going through. Is Mars in retrograde or something like that? I don't know. All right, remember, life's too short, so always say yes to adventure. Bye.